Oh, I forgot my music ain't playing no more. My bad. Good morning, you guys. Okay, I know. First, I want to say I know I am late. Okay, with the day one because I know we on day two and we're hearing that Cassie is basically set to testify today. But I wanted to talk about the things that was a key point about what happened. So this live is not going to be that long, but I wanted to talk about it. If you guys feel a trigger warning, what we're going to talk about, and you can come back later, just like the video. Therefore, okay. Um. All right. So we all know that Diddy is on trial. He is facing life. Now I'm going to say the prosecutors and the his lawyers do has great points. I'm going to say that. We're going to discuss that. And, he has a dream team. So we don't know how this is going to go, but there are a lot of people out there. I showed y'all Jaguar yesterday um, when we talked yesterday morning about Jaguar, right? Who was there doing interviews with people. And she was really trying to interview the people herself, but she just got caught up in it. All right. So we're going to talk about some key points that happened at the trial. So yesterday it got a little graphic. Oh honey, it got a little graphic. Now I heard they have four men, no, four late, it's eight jurors. So I think it's four or five men, and then there are three ladies, four to three ladies, we're gonna say that. Then most of it the Diddy lawyers wanted mostly ladies, right? But I think it was men or ladies, one of them, but they didn't get what they wanted. So they was a little upset because they had jury together. Um, his daughters were there, and I know it was hard for his daughters to hear the details of everything because of what's going on there, young ladies. But they did have to walk in and out from what was said about it because it's a lot. Quincy was there, Justin was there, all his kids was there. Now I seen Misha Hilton walk with a walker. I'm still trying to figure out what done happened to her, honey. She looked like she don't had surgery. And now Misha, if I find out, I'm gonna be upset. Now, all right. So we finna get into it. So there was a graphic testimony from Daniel Phillip, who is the 41-year-old male escort. He was called to witness. Okay, he was talking about the actual encounters with um, Cassie. Um, he said it was from 2012 to 2014, and he was paid from 700 to 6,000 on several occasions to have relations with Ventura. Okay, which is Cassie. And Diddy would sit back and watch and do things to his stuff. Um, he also witnessed abuse that Cassie had endured from Diddy. Now, remember when Dawn said in her affidavit that she witnessed Cassie having altercations over some eggs not being cooked well, right? They weren't scrambled like he wanted it, and he had an altercation with her, and he came downstairs and he sat there and he told Don, "Oh, any of you hoes mind your business." And Kalina said she had like she ain't seen nothing, and then she tried to say Cassie was hitting the booger sugar. Okay, so it's now come to confirm that um Kalina is high off that booger sugar herself, allegedly, in line. So people have witnessed Cassie being abused. This all started when the abuse started with Cassie at 19. She started dating Diddy at the time. Now his lawyers tried to say that day she was supposed to leave the hotel. We're gonna get into Daniel in a minute. We're gonna get more into that. But I want to talk about this. I don't have my notes. So they was kind of grilling the hotel manager or the guy, the hotel security guard. So this is what happened. So the day when we saw that video, we didn't see the whole video, you guys. When CNN played it, they did not play everything. Is honey, they said it was so disturbing and so sad. Um, so security walked in that day and he saw the room with this shovel. It was Cassie, Diddy, and then it was another guy that was sitting there, I guess, that he was supposed to perform acts with. So they sat there, had a conversation, and when he came in the room, everything was dismayed, everything was wrong. He told Diddy that he had to pay. When they showed the video, y'all, Diddy has kicked this girl, dragged her, stumped her in her face. The His lawyers try to make it seem like Cassie took his phone and was trying to leave. But in the video, you can clearly see Cassie has her phone in her bag trying to leave him. And they were saying that he was jealous. She knew that he liked other women and she was jealous of the other women. This is what his lawyers are saying. So when the prosecutors came back and they asked questions, let me tell you something. His lawyer ain't one to play with. The lawyer asked the security guy, because the security guy took the video on his phone and shared it to his baby mama because he thought that his baby mama and everybody else wouldn't believe him. Okay. So they questioned him about that and they said that he had to pay for the hotel, that he didn't get paid. Well, prosecutors sat here and asked questions themselves and then they showed the video and she said to play it again. When I say people were sitting there, the picture of Diddy is he just sitting there. He's just sitting there. What else can he say? So then they brought to the stand Daniel. This is where it get horrific, honey. So Daniel basically said that he he was working, making some ends meet, and how he became an escort was he basically was working as a Chippendale. You know what a Chippendale is? You don't know what it is? Go look it up. Chippendale, okay? And he got a call from a woman saying to come at the hotel, um, come meet them, and her husband wouldn't mind this and that. Now, Diddy goes by a code name. He said they go by a code name, which is Black. This is gonna get very graphic, y'all. He said that he got there and he saw Cassie. When he got there, the lady opened the door, had on lingerie. He didn't know who Diddy was, anything, or that he was there because he had his face covered. He said that he had interactions with Cassie and Diddy was sitting there doing to himself. Cassie calls him back and says she liked how big it was and she wants to see him again. She saw him again. There were times where Diddy would watch and then he noticed that was him. And then there was another guy where he would have run on a train or he would sit there and he literally would basically like say, they had enough oil or enough lube. They had Astroglide and baby oil there. Now, while all this is going on, the children are walking in and out, and I'm hearing, people commentary. Shout out to Armand, and I'm hearing he's like, the girls are walking in and out. They're walking in. And I'm like, I know these girls hearing this are disgusting. Like they want to vomit in their mouth. Ain't nobody going to think about their daddy like that. Like your 50-year-old daddy doing all of this. Like, sir, uh-uh, uh-uh. Diddy needed a daughter in his business. The girls they living their life, they have everything going on. He needs a daughter in his ass. You hear me? Cause So I'm picturing my nose. I can't. So let's continue. And then he comes back for a while. It's been going on. Um, there are times where it could be a competition. If it's not Diddy or someone else, then it's Diddy and him with Cassie, and it's like they ran a train on her. Um, she was choking on a male and there was urine coming into her mouth. So we know that Young Miami has endured some of these things as well. It's so sad, y'all. So the way they're saying everything, the way the witness is saying it, and I want y'all to hear it because he's saying that basically Cassie preferred to be urine on. Um, and she coached him how to do it. There were times where like he would see her be thrown around and I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. This is a lot. Um, so it's a lot of that going on. Hold on, y'all. It's a lot. Whew. It's so graphic. It's so graphic. Um, Give me a minute, y'all. I gotta get through this because it's what I want to tell you. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm trying to see how to say it without being straight because it's a lot. He would ask him to, um, hmm, we'll say bust inside her. And he said he didn't trust it because he didn't have her medical history. So um, Phillips went ahead and gave the medical history. Here's the thing, Cassie didn't show hers. So he would do it because he was getting paid for it. He didn't have Cassie show hers. Diddy didn't let that happen. And there were times where this is the part that got me. He would say, "Are you sure?" I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it like this. Did you in her? And he said, "Yeah." Sometimes he would fake like he did. And he said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah." Come listen. From what the witness said, that it go on for 10 hours. This is complete. That's not enough. They would say that's not enough. Astroglide. Diddy would say no, go again, and then he would please himself as watching. And the guy was saying this would go on for like 10 hours. There were times when he texts Cassie, sometimes she wouldn't text back, and then she'll text back, he'll say something to her. He said one day that he saw her get physically assaulted. He heard her getting dragged and physically assaulted by Diddy, and then she would come out and kiss him. Like she got to act like she didn't hear anything. This is all crazy, y'all. And this is why I want to go to this trial because I, I know I want to see who was on the tape and I want to see for myself because this Diddy sounds like so now they're trying to argue to the prosecutor that it's not it became I'm gonna tell you how it became racketeering and it's trafficking. And a rapper explained this and he said this verbatim. He said if that's your girl and you travel out the country and y'all just to have a long time and then they'll still see it as that when it come down to it. Right? He basically because he coerced his team to allow him to sit here and what I'm saying, not hold him accountable, take care of things for him. That's when it became that. He took a team. So everybody is saying, hey, it sounds like a DV. And prosecutors are saying, no, this is worse than that. Like, this is bad. Because in the video of the hotel, they were saying that Cassie was saying she's wanting to go home and wanted to leave. And he said, well, you could go home. You can get their phone. At first, he dragged her like he didn't want her to leave, which he didn't. But then when I guess hotel, security came and say, hey, you got to check out. She said, fine, let her get her ass on, whatever. But if you know and heard the horrific things that he did to Kim, this is the same darn thing. This is the same thing. And for me to think about what Cassie went through, to hear what Kim probably went through is crazy. Like I couldn't imagine hearing that. The okay, so the third the third witness that they were waiting on to talk is Gina. Okay, Gina is the third witness. Yes, the ex-girlfriend Gina who went on Tasha K that got kicked in the stomach, had lost a baby and all that is Gina. Gina started messing with Diddy in 2020, right? But they're thinking that I think Gina and Diddy started before the pandemic. We just saw them together because Cassie didn't talk no more to Diddy when Kim passed. And what year was it? I think it was 2019 because that was her way out. If y'all remember when Kim Porter passed, she left. It was 2018. Okay. So she left. But I really do believe Gina had to be around before then. Now, Gina said she was around 2020, but I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. We're gonna wait to see what Gina says. Um, but yeah, that's what the prosecutors are trying to the prosecutors are saying, hey, this racketeering and ex trafficking, which in the state of New York is life imprisonment. There's no way around it. That's what it is. His lawyer said, hey, um, no, this is really DV. So today we have Cassie on the stand. This is day two. Let me tell y'all something. People have been outside since 2 in the morning getting this coverage, going inside. um Armand, shout out to him. He told, the girls to hold their head high. It was when I say it was him and everybody telling those girls, hold your head up. The girls are smiling, they're in good spirits. But if you and I see people saying, well, why they supporting their dad? They don't let me tell you something. When especially the twins, and I get it, because that's the only parent them twins have left. They don't have now, they don't have any parents at a young age. I understand. And when those girls are daddy girls, okay? You don't want to see your father in that light. You don't want to see who he is. And let me tell you something. They might be smiling now. And I want to ask, I know y'all don't like him, but I do want to ask my subscribers, please pray for them girls because they may be smiling now, but they're probably going home crying to hear what their father has done. They've been around Cassie. We're not going to act like they haven't. They have. They have been around her and all his girlfriends. We know they have. So I think in their mind, they never would have thought in their mind, because you got to understand, especially with twins, Kim kept that stuff away from them. And if Kim was here, they wouldn't be at that courthouse. Kim made sure them girls did not know what was really going on. And she kept I've never heard her say anything bad about that man in front of them girls. I never. Only thing I remember her saying when they broke up after the twins, she said, you think I'm gonna be around somebody and I learn how to make my money and be an entrepreneur? No, I'm gonna do that. And that's exactly what she did. She took the good points that she needed and she got, and a lot of them have. Justin mom's done the same. Um, Chance, which is the oldest daughter, her mother done the same. The youngest girl, the love, they all have done. They've learned something, and just to say, I gotta get away from. I'm gonna take what I'm gonna take and go on about my business. This is the most. I don't. Let me tell y'all something. This is gonna top the Young Thug case to me because it's so much with this case that is crazy. Um, Everybody was there to be there to hear what was going on. It's just that he showed, hard love to them, to the kids. But as a person, as somebody child, I don't think I could sit there and listen to my father enjoying things like that. I don't. I don't, ladies, be mindful because if somebody asks that they do something and they said, you gotta ask questions. Because what I'm getting from it, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That, and so, his lawyers are trying to argue that, hey, he just loved to have freaky frog, crazy acts, right? Prosecutors say, that's, it's like, oh, he's shooting a production, or, sir, if you want to go into that type of thing, you should have. I, that's too much. So that is one of the escorts that are talking as a witness. Let me see if they updated what Cassie is saying, because this is crazy, y'all. This is federal court. Let me see. So they're going to continue and remind you, she is pregnant. She's 8.5 months pregnant. Um, she is able to take breaks because she is 8 months. They're offering water, things like that. He's trying to. So they're saying that Diddy ultimately controlled a lot of her. She said he controlled a lot of her life over time. She says the videos he shot of her doing extra encounters were blackmail materials, which he she feared could be put on the internet. He had many resources to do that. That's exactly what she said. All right, we got another update. They say she's speaking softly on the stand, lifting a tissue to dab at her nose and her eyes. Of course, she's pregnant. Um, this is what's going on right now. So they're saying she describing the complex nature of her relationship from their first F-offs. She said those events caused her nervousness and confusion. She said she didn't understand how these encounters could be a turn on, but she felt a responsibility to please Combs. I was confused, nervous, but also loved him very much. Okay. She said this started when she first came out. Y'all remember on 106 Park where she did Me and You performance, and everybody was like, oh, you know, she act like she's scared and things of that nature. It started when she was 19. That's why he took her from Ryan Leslie, which is true, and had Ryan Leslie work for him with music. And that's how they met. They were also dating, but he would do things like, oh, your album won't come out if you don't sleep with me type of deal. And Cassie felt like she had to. The only album that came out was the single Official Girl. We did not hear no more from Cassie after that. And everybody was wondering why, because Me and You was the only single. I think she had one album and then Official Girl, which was an album that came out, and that was it. And it said that Lorianne Gibson is also supposed to be testifying as well on the stand. I gotta hear some more on that because tried to blackball that lady and she went off. I'll never forget. She went to hell. She don't play. They're saying, okay, so this is what's been said. I'm gonna read y'all now. This is what's going on right now. Um, in the first minutes of her testimony, she was asked by prosecutors to describe the more than decade-long relationship she had with Mr. Combs. There were violent arguments that would usually result in some sort of physical abuse, she answered, dragging different things of that nature. So she is pregnant. She is pregnant by her husband, Alex. This is their third child, okay? Prosecutor says the executive dangled over disappearing music opportunities, beat her when she stepped out of line, and piled her with drugs. So when Kalina said that she was on drugs, she was on drugs under control. I mean, rugs. She wasn't on it because that's what she liked. She was on it for control. Okay. Miss Ventura to have enforcing Miss Ventura to have marathon X sessions with male prostitutes while he taped the encounters. Though the legal filings in the case had merely identified her as victim one, there was never much doubt that the singer, who had been Mr. Combs' on and off girlfriend for more than a decade, was the witness at the center of the racketeering conspiracy and ex trafficking case against him. Ms. Ventura's decision in late 2023, following intensive therapy, to bring a federal lawsuit against Mr. Combs of R and years of physical abuse. And his decision not to settle before it became public, that set into the motion a criminal investigation that led to the trial. Let's see if they got any more updates, y'all. This is crazy. Okay. So she said she met Combs around 2005. She was 19. She knew I just knew that he was larger than life entrepreneur musician, was a fan of the music. I didn't know too much about him personally. Soon after, she said she signed a 10 album deal with Combs' label Bad Boy, and Cassie only had one or two albums. A 10 label deal. This is the same 10 label deal that he signed to album deal he signed to Danity Kane and Day 26. And the rest of the artists that did not make it. Danny Kane only had two. Day 26 had one or two. And Making the Band, I forgot their name, was Sarah, only had, they didn't have an album. They didn't even make it to an album. Okay. So it was a 10 album deal. All, if you notice, all the people that worked with him supposedly was supposed to sign a 10 album deal. Exactly. And it never happened. Never happened. And I remember people were saying that even if they released the music, they still, some people did not get paid. Um, D Woods had to try to get out, to come up there to him and say, listen, I need to get out my contract. I need to get out of it now. Don Dirty Money had a 10 album deal. Y'all remember that? Dirty Money only had two or three and he was done. That was it. So I know these are people I think it's going to take to stand. This is going to be, they're saying it's going to be a 6-week trial. You're going to have Dawn, I believe Aubrey O'Day, Lorianne Gibson, some more of the male prostitutes, some of the females. They're saying they're in the tapes. It's so horrific because you could hear women yelling to stop. The assistant who was yelling to stop, that he had to run a train on in, I believe, London or Paris, that he sent home after. I don't know what to say, y'all. I told y'all since I seen that man come out, it just something wasn't right. He was too very quiet for me. He was. And I have to say this with Suge Knight. We know Suge Knight is a monster too. But we gotta give it to Suge Knight that he said he is just like him. They're both of the same coin. And Suge Knight didn't lie. In some type of way, they both did something. You know what I'm saying? Like they both did some grimy stuff. Just somebody, like he said, one person got away with it longer than the other. And that's exactly what that man said. And I cannot sit here and say that Suge Knight lied when he said that. We don't have to like him, but we gotta say, at least give credit when due and say he told the truth. He knew who he was. We see why Biggie mother did not like him after her son passed. She did not like this man. And she said why she didn't like that man. What's crazy to me, you don't have Mary there. You don't have everybody that was on his label. Nobody is there. You done had Mace call this man out and said exactly what this man was doing. And he ain't never checked Mace. He could. Y'all, this is the most disgusting, vile, the just horrific thing you can do to a female. And she said she did those things because she loved him. She didn't do those things. She loved him. So she was like, I'm gonna do whatever to please him. This is why ladies, and I hate to say, she met him at 19. She just thought that was love. This why it's good morning. This is why it's so important to love yourself, because these men, some of these men and women are not emotionally stable. Like the part that made me mad for her is the dragging. There were times where he hit her in the hotel room and nobody could see that girl's face because he done beat her up so bad. And she got out beat on her. Like, what? He stumped her in her face. That man is fat and that is no shame. That's a fat man. That's some heavy foot coming down with force. Cassie's little. Diddy had gained weight. Diddy had a belly. We not gonna act like he didn't. That's like 300-pound foot coming on your face. Come on now. No. Uh-uh. Ain't no way. But we knew something was going on at the Met Gala because if you paid attention to her interviews and how he looked at her and intensely chew his gum, everybody knew something was going on. Cassie didn't have roles like that. She had probably one or two movies. And if you notice with Terrence James, she barely had anything with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like she got punished for it because you could tell how he did it. Then he threatened Michael B. Jordan. Yes, he blew they're trying to get him for Kid Cudi Car, who he blew up. He beat up Wale. Oh yeah. He threatened Michael B. Jordan because she was a little flirtatious with him. Everybody think Michael B. Jordan is the hottest thing. You know, Nikki tried to tell him, she said, I'm trying to take Cassie away from Diddy. She wasn't saying it as a thing. She was really pleading to take that girl away from that man. Nikki was pleading, like, I'm going to get you out of that. Nikki knew what was going on too. And Nikki was trying to save her. I'm surprised that they didn't call Beyonce because allegedly in the court affidavit she said something about Beyonce. They was mentioned. They tried to keep that sealed, so they're not going to call them, which I'm great for. But she credit her for helping her leave. That's amazing because y'all know that girl crazy. Beyonce don't care. Beyonce crazy. She don't give a damn. Let me tell you something. A lot of people say, "Oh, she not." Let me tell you something. One thing about her, she crazy. If she walked up on 50 Cent, which is a 6 something foot man and 200 something pounds, and checked him about her man, she not finna play. I'm just gonna let you know now. She has to be professional because 50 even said she walked up on him. Um, let's see if they got another update, y'all. Okay. No, they haven't had any more updates so far. But you know, Cassie in her mind is wondering, like, why do you like this? Okay, it's another update. So her husband is there. Cassie was asked why she wanted to be around Sean Combs. I want to be around Sean for the same reason everyone else at the time. She testified he was just excited, entertaining, fun guy that also happened to have, my career in his hands. Who does that sound like holding a sign that say "Go Poppy"? I know y'all don't like my Young Miami. I know y'all don't like Young Miami, but I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna go on any more updates. I continue on with what Cassie had to say. Young Miami is a victim too. Young Miami was on. Young Miami is a victim. Um, a lot of people's mad at Young Miami because, and I believe she is going to testify. I'm not sure. A lot of people's mad at Young Miami because she didn't tell everything. And like I told y'all before, she's in the middle of this investigation. She has to go up there. She's going to have to testify. Young Miami was embarrassed to say, and I'm gonna say this if y'all pay attention, that she was abused by that man. Cause remember how she kept going in and out with him. If y'all pay attention to her photos on the Met Gala, and she smiled, and everybody was like, "That eye is a little low. That eye kind of squinting." She was told to say that had nothing to do with her. That man had her career in her hands. That's why QC then was a little more upset because that's who got it. If y'all look at that picture of her at that Met Gala, that eye is squinting. Now let me tell you something. She may be down to do whatever because she loved him. Like she said, they all loved him. This is very sad, y'all. I will be back with more of that tomorrow, but I do have to bring something to y'all that I promised that I was gonna bring to y'all. Um, we got to go to something a little light because I know that was a little much. So remember when I did the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I told y'all that Drew wanted them papers, the court case sealed because Drew had also cheated, and even though nobody liked what's his name, Ralph, that basically he he wasn't lying. I did a thing 2 years ago about, and I'm gonna play the audio because I don't want them to excuse me, I don't want them to copy strike me because I'm gonna play, but they basically, this came out this morning. Basketball Wives preview, well, second episode was last night. Remember I told y'all a while back that Ty and Mimi broke up and the situation that happened. We're gonna get into it. Let me share my screen. And I confirmed with y'all that Ming was on there with Ty and they started dating. And this been going on and off for a while with Drew and Ty. We're not going to act like it has it allegedly. Okay. So it says Ming Lee accuses Ty Young of cheating with Real Housewives of Atlanta Drew Sidora. Who would have thought that we get a crossover episode between Housewives of Atlanta and Basketball Wives? Because that's exactly what happened this week. On Sunday episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Raph told Portia Shamia that he filed divorce from Drew Sidora because she allegedly cheated on him with Ty Young. This claim was brought up during the fifth season 15 reunion. Y'all remember we discussed that last week and last year. And Marlo say, "Why don't you talk about it?" She was trying to force it. Everybody was trying to force it. Drew didn't want to talk about it, right? Where Drew denied and insisted she and Ty were just friends, despite what Ralph bloggers, even some friends, suggested. But then Monday episode of Basketball Wives aired, and things got hold on, y'all. Even got messier. Ty Young and her girlfriend, both new cast members, were having dinner with me when Mean confronted Ty by possibly cheating with Drew. Now, at that time, it was a mixie because Ty was just getting done with Mimi, still doing whatever and dealing with me. Mean revealed that Ty's phone records show she spent 3,000 minutes a month. Yes, 50 hours on the phone with Drew. Ty claims she was just being a supportive friend to someone going through a rough divorce. As we recently watched on Real House of Atlanta, Drew was devastated by the judge's decision to let Ralph stay in their home. So she may have leaned heavily on Ty. You a lie. I'm finna play the audio. Ain't that much heavily weighing. Remember the past came out, and that's when all this came out because she was in the film. Now let me see if I can go on here. And I'm gonna play the audio of what happened yesterday. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm coming. I'm finna play it. I don't know if you guys watched it. I know a lot of people haven't watched Basketball Wives in a while. Thank you, Chrissy. Pause. I'm gonna tell y'all what I think after this. Oh, not seriously. Me and that lady, Lord Jesus. This what she said. They see that lady meaning it didn't mean nothing to her. Drew dragged it on. What's really interesting to me, y'all, and I hate to say it, Ming is Drew, well, I can't say Drew friend, but Kenya friend, which Kenya is cool with Drew. But I knew something was weird because Kenya and Drew are not like that. And for her to sit at that dinner table talking about she miss her friend, I told y'all that Kenya was never her friend. Her loyalty gonna be more with me because it's more long lasting. Child, it's like a bombshell today going on. Kim Kardashian has gone to court for the Paris thing. I'm trying to look up the lawsuit with Brene and Tim and see if anything changed while we sitting here because this is crazy. Everybody in court today. everybody. Oh Lord Jesus, take a stand. Um, okay. Oh wow. Hold on. There might be something new with Kim with Akira and Brene Child. Mm-mm. But we gonna do that tomorrow. Let me see if they got any more updates with this trial, honey, because everybody is in court. What is going on? Okay, let's look up some things. So, just a reminder, Diddy has not pleaded guilty to one count of racketeering. But the evidence they have shows it is. Remember, we read the affidavit about the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and such and such. Okay. Um, Wait a minute, what? I didn't see this. So the evidence, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, who is the prosecutor, argued against letting. Okay, she was arguing against it. So there are 12 jurors. It's 12 now. They said it was 8 yesterday. Um, Two people got are not there, so it knocked it down. But it's 8 men and 4 women. Two of them, they were saying that they know Diddy. One guy couldn't do it because he's suing the state of New York. So it's a shit show. I'm just gonna say when it comes to them, to the jurors, everybody. Okay. So Cassie said that Sean Combe had many girlfriends, meaning she wasn't the only one. Okay. He knew that she was actually experienced when they first got together. She said she had relations with him during a trip to Miami on a boat. She said she was in the wine in the afternoon. Did he introduce her to ecstasy for the first time? After touching on the violence and freak offs. Oh yes, it's a lot, y'all. We gonna get more into it later. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I was trying to measure it out to an hour as I usually do, but we gonna be with more details later. I'm gonna get more details than saying what she said, but I want more of it. And I will be back at the same time. We're gonna talk about today, which is day two, tomorrow morning. Listen, it's gonna be 6 weeks. I'm gonna try to get some update on the Brene lawsuit from Akira for the $2 million plus. And we're gonna read a little bit of that. It's a lot going on. We're gonna discuss um the truth that everybody's still talking tomorrow. I'm gonna try to fit it in. If I don't do it tomorrow, we will do it Saturday. But I will be recapping this case for the next 6 weeks with other things. So just be prepared. I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.